This episode of the Rocker Skating Podcast is brought to you by MK Blades, the choice of champions. For nearly a century, MK has crafted world-class figure skating blades trusted by Olympians and beginners alike. Whether you're perfecting your first jumps or chasing gold, MK gives you the edge you need. Visit mkblades.com and find your perfect pair. Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast. This is part 2 of our 5-part preview for the Olympics. And we're talking about dance today because dance gets us started after the team event, which, if you're listening to this in the future, has just finished or is in the middle of getting finished. Who knows? But Michelle, our resident ice dance lore expert, is here, as always.
Hi.
And I'm guessing this is the one that you are most excited about.
I mean, excited, but also dreading. Yeah. And I feel like this is so unpredictable this year. Usually we kind of know what's going to happen. But there's more teams in contention for the podium than normally are in dance. So, yeah. And for the record, we are recording this before we get on site because I will be working on site and I will not be recording while I'm there.
Yeah, this is coming to you from the past, so we're trying to predict the future as much as we can. Well, let's start with the podium. Because in my mind, and I don't know how much you agree with this, but in my mind, it's 5 teams for the podium.
Agree.
And it's 2 teams for gold and 3 teams for bronze.
Yep. Agree. Yeah.
That's how it's been trending.
Mm-hmm. But
you know what? Crazier things have happened.
I mean, if you think about where we were a year ago, like Gilles and Poirier were coming very close to and once beating Chock and Bates. Those teams were very neck and neck. Chock and Bates pulled out a little bit further ahead at Worlds. Gilles Poirier, I think, are in the second group now, though. I think they're in conversation for the bronze, and we're really looking at Chock Bates versus Fournier-Beaudry Cizeron for gold. And it's very hard to predict because you have a lot of strange factors. Will be interesting to see how many parts of the team event Chock and Bates do. I feel like they're going to do both. That's my guess. And if they do that, they're going to be doing 4 competitive programs in a week. How does that work out for them? I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be bad. I mean, when you look at how they skated in Beijing, they did the free dance in the team event and then the individual event. And of those 3 performances, 2 of them were excellent. Chock Bates,
were you talking about Chock Bates or are you talking about? Yeah.
Chock Bates.
In Beijing, their best free dance was the one they did in the team event.
That's true. Yeah, there's that too.
That was a brilliant. Like the aliens, that was so good. It was
so good. And then they made a mistake in the rhythm dance. And, you know, they're a team that tends to get a little bit tight and have a little bit of an Olympic jinx, I think. But they've gotten so far. They've competed in so many high pressure situations at this point. I want to say I trust them to just be fine. And then the other thing is you have to wonder about, like, if they do both sections of the team event, how many people are going to be watching the team event? How much momentum are they going to come into the individual event with? Because we saw that really work out for Virtue and Moyer in 2018. I mean, I think on paper, Fournier-Beaudry and Cizeron should be the ones winning this event based on what they're capable of. But we really haven't seen them do a really perfect competition yet. Europeans was probably as close as it's gotten. They still had a couple little issues in their free dance. I think that they're definitely beatable in the rhythm dance by Chock Bates. I think the difference is the free dance scores. And
they're not immune to errors big errors, and that's we've seen that this season. Like sort of blade for blade. Fournier-Beaudry and Cizeron are stronger skaters.
Yeah. A lot stronger.
But I do wonder there is this interesting, and people are going to demolish me for saying this, but there is hear me out before you demolish me for saying this, but there is a sort of Virtue Moyer versus Papadakis Cizeron sort of dynamic in the free dance, not in their skating or their basics or anything like that, but in the free dance, it is going to be fiery,
sexy
flamenco, or whatever you want to call it,
right?
Yeah, it's
theater,
like it's like
cinema.
This thing that's going to get the audience going, versus the much more subdued, a little bit or a lot pretentious, classical, lyrical sort of styling of Fournier-Beaudry Cizeron. And you actually wonder, when you put those two programs on Olympic ice and you get the audience reactions to those, do we get a similar sort of effect that we saw in Pyeongchang, where it was very muted for Papadakis Cizeron, and it was, the roof was off for Virtue Moyer. Like, that's the kind of thing that I wonder about. Again, nothing to do with them as skaters, but everything to do with the vibe of those two programs going back to back potentially.
Yeah.
So I wonder.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a very valid question, because the crowds at the Olympics tend to be quite different than at ISU events. And I think also the skate order will be important, because if Chock and Bates manage to win the rhythm dance, they'll skate last. And then, like Virtue and Moyer did, they'll get that boost when they lay it down.
As it is right now, Fournier-Beaudry Cizeron are going to be in the second group in the rhythm dance.
And I am guessing we're not going to see them in the team event. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I have that feeling, and that the way that Lopre and Brissot have talked about how they're doing the team event, the way it's looking for the French team, I don't know.
It really wouldn't make any sense unless they want to get the rhythm dance out there one more time to.
I think it makes sense for
feel
momentum.
Yes, correct. It doesn't make sense. I mean,
you're not going to get a medal.
There's also just for medal purposes, no. There's also the, like, excuse me for saying this, but the, like, am I too good for the team event mentality, which I feel like in whatever 4 years ago,
Korea. France
8
didn't
years
qualify
ago.
in Beijing, but it was in Korea.
Yeah. 8 years ago, it felt like Papadakis Cizeron were like, we don't need this.
I mean, they said it because they arrived after the team event, and they said France had no chance, so we let the other dance team do it just so they have the opportunity. And we weren't going to participate because France had no chance at a medal whether we competed or not. And that's kind of like, I mean, it is almost a too good for this attitude, because it's like, these teams aren't all participating in the team event because they want a medal. They're doing it because they want to skate with their team.
And it's the Olympics, right?
Yeah,
like, there's so many people who you only do so many Olympic performances, and it is what it is. But that's also to say, and we're now retroactively talking about this, because by the time this episode comes out, the team event will be either going or finished. But there's also then the separate fact that if Fournier-Beaudry Cizeron do not do the team event, it changes the dynamic of the team event in favor of a team like the U.S. if Chock and Bates do both segments.
Yeah. So,
but can we just talk about how Evan Bates is going to his 50th Olympics?
Yeah.
Can you believe this?
It's crazy.
2010 was his first one.
Yeah, that was mine too. So it's kind of funny. And it's I remember Drobiazko and Vanegas in Torino, that they did 5, and everyone thought that was crazy. And now here's Evan. He's done 5 too.
Who was also at that Olympics? Allison Reed.
Yeah, in Vancouver. Yeah. I remember.
What a crazy.
Yeah.
But Evan Bates, number 5 for him.
Yeah. And number 4 for Maddie.
And if they win,
They will both be the oldest Olympic champion in ice dance ever in each of their genders. Yeah. In ice dance. She will break Tatiana Novka's record, and he will break Sergei Ponomarenko's. I think basically with this field, Novka's record's getting broken no matter what. She was only 30 years old. She was almost 31. All these women are like 32, 33.
Wow.
Sergei Ponomarenko was 31 in a couple weeks, and Guillaume Cizeron is going to be 2 weeks younger than Ponomarenko was. So if Cizeron wins, Ponomarenko keeps his record. Very important details to know.
And Ponomarenko's son is here.
Yeah, Anthony.
Anthony Ponomarenko.
Skating to La Bouche. Cannot wait to see that on Olympic ice.
Skating to a song that his dad probably was bopping to in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was. So, yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah. I guess we'll say our prediction for the podium after we go through the medal contenders.
Yeah.
But, okay. I feel like that sets up the top two. I also think, I think Laurence Fournier-Beaudry's rhythm dance costume is one of those things that's going to go a little bit viral. And maybe also their 4 gloves, because they're both wearing gloves. I feel like that's also going to be something that people like. I mean, their rhythm dance is already getting traction on TikTok just from like Europeans.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Bronze medal.
So if this were 3 weeks ago, and by the 3 weeks ago, I mean early January.
Pre-Europeans.
You would think that it was a 2-team race for the bronze because Guignard Fabbri were not really in the mix. They were really on the outside of the mix. Now they're in the mix. They're still on the outside of the inner mix, but they're back in the conversation, and that is a testament to the fact that they actually have improved over the season.
Yeah,
in their
they just
skating.
got a late start.
Yeah, and also the weird judging that was going on during the Grand Prix, like all of that sort of stuff.
I think that in addition to being second at Europeans and improving a lot, I think Guignard Fabbri are going to have a really big advantage in that the crowd is going to be insane for them. I mean, outrageous noise. Like, I remember in Beijing, we didn't even have a real audience. It was volunteers. And it was like the Italian team members that came and sat in the booth for the team event were so loud. It was unbelievable how loud they were. Just imagine an arena of that. I mean, I feel like this is going to be the kind of crowd that lets out like a blood-curdling scream when they show Barbara Fusar-Poli on the Jumbotron. And I know, like, we saw that this was not true about Fear Gibson. When they had a feral crowd for them at Europeans, it got to them. They got tight. They made mistakes. I don't think Guignard Fabbri makes mistakes. I think they go clean no matter what because they're trained for that. And I feel like they're going to have a big advantage. Like, there's no way that doesn't translate somehow into their component scores when you have that level of engagement.
I think what's interesting about this whole thing was if I rewound 3 years ago and we were like, oh, it's the beginning of the quad. The Olympics are coming in Italy. The narrative was that we are building toward an Olympics in Italy where Charlène Guignard Marco Fabbri actually come in as the favorites.
Yeah, it could. I mean, yeah.
Right. And there was a point where they were second at Worlds.
Yeah.
They were kind of moving up and they were challenging for those positions. And then last year,
people thought they should have beaten Chock Bates at 2023 Worlds.
Yeah, with that mistake in the free dance. But yeah, it's interesting the trajectory of that because there was really this sort of belief that because Italian Olympics, Italian ice dance champion, like that would be the push, and that has not been the case. But what is good to see is that they are back in the mix. But between now Gilles Poirier and Fear Gibson, the momentum has shifted. Gilles Poirier, over the past quad, more or less, has been number 2 or number 3. And often of those times, number 2. Some of those times, number 1, right? Like
Yeah.
The four continents where they beat Chock and Bates, and a couple times where you saw them potentially being the ones to beat.
Yeah.
And now we're thinking about this as like oh, okay, well, is it bronze time for them? But I wonder how that's all going to work out, and I think a lot of it will be how this rhythm dance continues to evolve.
Hmm.
Because if it clicks in Milan, it becomes a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. I think I have questions about Piper and Paul because I feel like there's something with their free dance, the return to Vincent, that is not clicking for the judges. And I think we've seen that, especially at the final, in the way they're scored and the way they're placed. The rhythm dance, I think, is something that is, I don't know, it's like lacking in some of the like intricacy and difficulty, and that is just not. It's just not the vehicle that it's gonna is has taken them where they want to be, and it's consistently not scoring into even the mid 80s. It's like a low 80s program. And I feel confident in saying that Chock Bates and Fournier-Beaudry Cizeron skating well are going to be over 86 in the rhythm dance here. So then it's like, what are Fear Gibson and Guignard Fabbri going to get? And are Gilles Poirier going to be able to push into that? And even like, will they still be in the conversation by the free dance? Yeah.
The other question is then also, how does the technical panel do all of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been such an X factor the entire season. And
Mhm.
even, at Europeans and at Four Continents, it was less strict of a panel.
Mhm.
But still, there was, like, you weren't seeing all threes and fours for the top
Yeah.
teams.
And they were
And
so strict with the choreo elements, especially the steps and the rhythm, choreographic rhythm sequence.
so that could be the sort of outside factor of this whole thing is
Mhm.
like forget about the GOEs and the components. Like, what are they going to call?
Yeah.
And that could really make a difference here.
Mhm.
And are there going to be little trips? Are there going to be little things? It could be so close. 1 and 2 could be so close. 3, 4, and 5 could be so close.
Mhm.
That all of those little things will end up being magnified as bigger things. And then, of course, the audience is going to look at it and be like, what just happened?
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, you could change someone's medal chances by giving them an exclamation point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
then there's the Fear Gibson question, how they'll hold up in this field, how they'll be scored. They tend to skate really well under pressure. I think that kind of the cracks that we saw at Europeans were a little bit unusual for them. Although, I mean, they do make mistakes sometimes. Um, yeah.
It's hard to not when
Mhm.
these programs are so
Yeah.
complicated. Um, that's just part of
Yeah.
it.
And I wonder about the crowd reception for Fear Gibson, based on their material and what it will be like in this crowd. I think it's kind of interesting to see where their material plays well. Like, I remember when they had their Rocky free dance, it was the Japanese crowd was in just jumping out of their skin for it. And then in Montreal at Worlds, it was a little more muted. People weren't that charmed by it. So I don't know. I don't know how Scottish music plays in Northern Italy. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see how all this '90s music plays in
Oh my gosh.
northern Italy.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Guignard Fabbri, Backstreet Boys rhythm dance that we've been complaining about all season is gonna be a huge hit. I think that's gonna blow the roof off the building. I
it
also think they're gonna love Vogue.
there is a thing about, as much as we end up talking about how, hey, the ISU made these decisions to
Mhm,
make it this, that, or the other.
mhm,
We are talking about a very different audience at the Olympics,
mhm,
both on TV, like at home or streaming or whatever, watching it, and also in the arena, right?
mhm.
These tickets are not cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
And so the people who are going there are not always going to be your diehard figure skating fans. And it's a different atmosphere. We talked about this with Olympics past. It's a different atmosphere. This arena is not huge. It is much more intimate than the uh than the one that we had in Beijing, which is completely empty.
Yeah.
And I think it's even smaller than the one that we had in Pyeongchang. I might be wrong.
Interesting.
I think it's I want to say it's like it's fewer than 10,000 seats. Um,
Wow.
I might be completely wrong on this, and I might be thinking about something completely
Mm-hmm.
different. But when I was at Worlds in Milan
Mm-hmm.
in
The same venue.
2017, same
Media
venue,
Milan Forum. Yeah.
it it felt smaller than, or sorry, not 2017, 2018. It felt smaller,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at a capacity crowd here says 15,800.
But does that include the floor?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The difference with the Olympics is that they clear out a lot more of the seats
Yeah.
so that there's all of this space around it. You never see at the Olympics, especially in recent Olympics, you never see
Mm-hmm.
the crowd right next to the
Yeah.
ice. It never happens. And then they also clear out a good chunk of the seats for the media
Yeah.
because there's so much media
It's
there.
all desks.
Yeah, a whole bunch of desks.
Yeah.
You never really see it on TV because the media is on the side that
Mm-hmm.
the camera usually doesn't show.
Yeah.
Um,
The
so
judge's
so
side.
it's so it's different. But if you watch any Olympics, any of the recent Olympics, you often see, when the camera pans, you see a lot of like wall. You see
Mm-hmm.
a lot of color. You don't see a lot of people because
Mm-hmm.
the people are much higher yet in general than they would be in like, especially like a US event when
Mm-hmm.
US events are very close to the ice. Um, it's much more like what you saw at Four Continents this past or in mid-January,
Mm-hmm.
because the Four Continents setup is very similar to what the Olympic setup is. So a lot of those sort of like what happens with those dynamics
Mm-hmm.
are, I think, especially big for
Yeah.
ice dance.
Yeah. I think there's also a factor of, well, ice dance is quite early in the games. I don't know that a lot of athletes from other sports will be done with their events. But, you get a lot of athletes from other sports that come to support just the country and the team. And I mean, I think that was a big factor in Korea as well. We had a huge number of Canadian athletes that came to see Tessa and Scott, and
Mhm.
ice dance was near the end. So it's like they were done with their events. They were just hanging out and they came to see them. And I don't really know if that'll be as much of a factor. Maybe it will, but
But yeah, outside of those five, we have
yeah.
23 teams here
Mm-hmm. It's
and
too
20
few.
spots, 20, yeah, exactly. 20
Crazy.
spots in the free dance.
Yeah.
And you go down this list and you have basically people who have finished in the top 10 or even top 6 who
Mm-hmm.
may not even make it into the top 10 this year
Yeah.
at the Olympics because of just the depth of this whole thing
Mm-hmm.
and the closeness of really, I mean, 6 through 14.
Yeah.
And there's just it's going to be so close. It's going to be levels. It's going to be little mistakes. It's going to be GOEs. It's going to be all that. You remember very well from last year's Worlds that a mistake, a major error from like Reed Ambrulevicius,
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm going into old habits. Reed and Ambrulevicius, and a big mistake by Tequila Versuis. Both of those dropped them out of the top 20, and it was luckily for Tequila Versuis, Reed and Ambrulevicius had a similar mistake, and they were able to just get into the free dance by the skin of their teeth. But it's going to be a very difficult
Mm-hmm.
just to get into the top 10. And the 3 who don't make it into the free dance are going to be very deserving
Yeah.
teams that either had bad luck that day
Mm-hmm.
or just barely missed it because
Yeah.
they lost it by like a point or something.
It's going to be demoralizing either
It
way.
will be. It will be.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can take that for granted, especially given
Yeah.
what we saw last year.
It's really frustrating that they've made these cuts to the entry number in dance because dance is such a deep field and a big discipline. And I think that, there's a lot of really deserving teams. I mean, the teams that aren't even here, I mean, there's
So
some really
many.
strong teams. And
Yes.
it's just, yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah.
I mean, top 15, like outside of those 5,
Hmm.
you see Le Poirier-Brissot, you see Lajoie-Lagat,
Hmm.
Reed Ambrulevicius, Zingas Kolesnik, Davis Smokin, that's 5. Smart Deke, Turkila Versluis, Carrera Ponomarenko, that's 8. I think
Hmm.
that group of 8 is probably your next set of
Yeah.
what's going to happen. And does any of those teams make a surprise appearance in the top 5? I think there's a possibility.
Singas Kolesnik, too, might be one.
Yeah, that was part of the 8.
Did you count them? Okay.
Yeah, I
Excellent.
did.
Okay. Yeah.
But like Le Poirier-Brissot has been on an upward trajectory,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
their rhythm dance is great, and their free dance is getting better and better. Lajoie-Lagat has always had the potential, and
Yeah. Tell me about it.
and could be there. Reed Ambrulevicius made it to the Grand Prix final. Zingas Kolesnik made it to the Grand Prix final.
Yeah.
Smart and Deke were 6th at Worlds last year, was it?
Yeah. Third in the free dance.
Yeah. Carrera Ponomarenko were
Fifth.
were 5th at Worlds. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot that could happen.
Yeah. And, keep in mind, not to be Debbie Downer, but you don't tend to see major errors in ice dance normally, but there often are big mistakes in dance at the Olympics. It's just, it's such a
2006,
tricky
anyone?
sport. Yeah. And then, you're under all this pressure and it's just, I mean, like we saw it in Salt Lake City. We saw major falls in Salt Lake City. We saw major falls in Torino. Vancouver was a calmer one. I think it was in that calmer, cooler colors arena. But in Sochi, we saw a ton of movement in the standings between the team and the individual event. In Pyeongchang, we saw Zach Donahue falling in the choreographic twizzle at the last minute and missing the podium because of it. It's
Chock
stuff
and
happens.
Bates.
And we had Chock and Bates too had their devastating fall.
Yep.
Gabby Papadakis had her costume issue. I mean,
Things
anything
happen.
stuff happens. Surprises can occur. Yeah. And if you look back at like 2002, there are a lot of people that's near the top who had big errors. And under the scoring system that we have now, when you have big errors, you don't stay at the top, which we then saw in 2006. So there could be quite a bit of movement. You never know.
Very, very intrigued to see what's going to happen. Who's your top 5?
5. Okay. I'm gonna just, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it. Chock Bates win. I'm picking Chock Bates to win. Fournier-Beaudry Cizeron second. Guignard Fabbri third.
Ooh.
Fear Gibson fourth. And this kills me to say it, but Gilles Poirier fifth. Kills me. I'm not saying that I agree, but I just think this is what's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the what we want to happen and what we
Yeah.
think is going to happen. And these are the what we think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Same top 2.
Oh, all right. Let's go.
Chock Bates, Fournier-Beaudry Cizeron. I'm going Gilles Poirier for the bronze.
Oh, okay.
I
hope
just
you're right.
I think
I'd love it.
I think they have really good momentum coming in from Canadians. And I just think maybe this is me hoping, but I think their rhythm dance is going to go over the best out of the 3.
Interesting. Okay. Of the 3 there. Yeah.
Of the 3 going for bronze. That
I'm
we
going
were
to
talking
disagree
about.
on that.
Yeah. Oh, I know you will.
Backstreet's back.
Then Fear and Gibson.
Oh, Jackie. Woohoo. They're going to turn you back at the airport.
Then
actually, this will
Lopari.
air once you're already in
Yeah, exactly.
Milan, so they can
Then
pull your credential.
Lopari Fabriso.
5th?
Yeah,
Where's Guignard Fabbri?
6th. I know.
Damn.
I know.
Damn.
I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest, because I am literally thinking about this for the first time. But for me, I think it's less about who is out of the top 5 and more that I think somebody's going to get into the top 5 that we did not expect.
I mean, I'd love for it to be Lopari Fabriso. Gosh, I'd like for them to be on the podium. I'd like to have them in second place, but I'm a big fan. Love Bjork too. So
I don't. Guignard Fabbri they looked really good at Europeans, and
Yeah.
I hope they continue to
yeah,
look really good. I just think in my heart of hearts, the pressure of the Italian Olympics, I think, gets to them more than I think you think it will get to them, and that's
see, I don't
part of
think it
my
will.
that's
don't
part
think
of
it will.
my judgment
Yeah.
here.
I mean, I base it on in Beijing. They couldn't hear their music. Remember they doing that Michael Jackson rhythm dance that had like there was no Michael Jackson in it, but it was Michael Jackson. And you couldn't hear the music and they couldn't hear it. And they were so on time.
They were.
And I asked Barbara about it afterward and I was just like, I thought they were going to get, unsettled by that. She's like, oh no, I have faith in her ability to prep them for anything.
The return of Barbara Fusar-Poli actually is another X factor that we have to factor in. I don't know. It's going to be a hard one to predict, period.
Yeah.
And like you said, I feel like for the first time in a long time, this is at least the powers or the potential medalists are less predictable than they have been in the past.
Yeah.
You would think out of that top 5, there will be mistakes because that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see if I need to eat my words in a few weeks. I probably will, but
it's okay. I mean, I'm always in favor of voting for a French team. I mean, yeah.
That's the 2002 of you.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you had made this prediction in 2022, you would have picked Guignard Fabbri to win. Yeah. I think I would have had them on the podium, but I think I would have picked Lilah to win. La Joie La Gare. Yeah.
So I remember 2 years ago, I was saying something like, in my brain, I feel like every Olympics, there's somebody who comes in that's outside at the first 2 years of the quad, who then becomes something in the second 2 years of the quad. And I thought it was going to be La Joie La Gare.
Yeah.
And when it didn't materialize last year, it was like that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
What was interesting was that Carrera Ponomarenko materialized last year as the top 5.
Yeah.
And then this year was completely out of sorts and
dematerialized.
is like no longer in even the conversation really for the top 10.
Passed by Zingas Kolesnik.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Zingas Kolesnik, though, I think there's something around Zingas Kolesnik, Reed Amber-Levicius, and Martin Dijk, who, like, if those 3, like, out of those 3, one of those is going to be like, hey, surprise, I'm number 6, or something, right? Like, something's going to happen.
I mean, if Smart Dijk could get into the final warm-up group after the rhythm dance, that free dance could really do something. But I don't know if their rhythm dance can get them there. I'm not sure. I don't know how much the Italian crowd's going to love George Michael and Robbie Williams either. I'm not really familiar. They probably like Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams is very big in Europe for sure. It will be interesting. It will be like, let's take a look at those levels. And this is not a surprise to say, but I'm always like, let's get some fair judging in there and let's make sure that things are done right.
A long way. Yeah.
So let's see how it goes. Well, the ice dance will be a very, very tight race across the board. And from just getting into the free dance to getting into the top 10 to who's going to make it to the podium, there will be lots of different stories and different areas of intrigue that will be part of this. So any final words for our dance preview, Michelle?
La bouche.
La bouche.
I don't even know what to say. Let's just stay on your feet, everyone. Don't look at the red wall. I think the arena's purple inside. I think I saw pictures of that.
Yeah,
so
it's purple.
We should be all right. Mm-hmm.
Let's hope. Because those
stay away from Maurizio Margalio. Don't let him pick you up.
Those Torino walls were bad luck for ice dancers. Period.
Yeah. Except for Tanith and Ben, they had a just fine. They did just fine.
It's because she was wearing red.
Yeah.
And he was wearing black. They were just like, they were vibing with the color scheme.
Ben always says he made friends with the wall. He made himself love it. Yeah.
Well, that was part 2 of our series of Milan previews for Michelle Ellis, ice dance expert of rockerskating.com. This is Jackie Wong, non-ice dance expert of rockerskating.com. Thanks as always to John Wilson Blaze for sponsorship, and thank you to Tara Nichols, who's unfortunately at home and having a lot of FOMO for not being at the Olympics. But we miss you here, Tara. We'll talk to you again next time when we talk about part 3, which will be the men. Bye.